So, um, actually, first question was on dollar yen. I had a question here. I have a dollar yen pending to go long, but I looked at it as a range trade because of the 50 EMA and past couple of cycles. Am I looking at this as a range too early? Should I have seen this as a continuation of trend without a take profit, or as a range with a take profit? Look, it's you could say that it's range. I wouldn't have a problem with that. The 50 EMA is relatively flat in that it hasn't moved a great distance, and price is chopping either side of it. Personally, I think it's going for a bit longer than that. That we're in a trend, and that you have cycles. There's no shame in going for a range. You're still should make at least two times your risk. So everybody's going to have their own opinion and of it, but that's where I think that's at. So Aussie dollar, gentlemen, looking at this to go short. Everybody wants to short it. It's certainly the market has little reason to go up at this stage. My only concern here is the divergence. You've got this as a flat line and totally ignoring this high. And I'm not sure why, but as I said this morning in my report, we've missed the opportunity. There was no divergence that I could see because of this high here, and so therefore you should be looking at the lower time frames, such as the 4-hour, to be getting your opportunities in there. Okay. Aussie Swiss, there was a question about the Aussie Swiss. So this one, yeah, look, I'm not so sure we should be looking at that as an option because of the divergence. Well, it's clear that the Aussie should retrace both fundamentally and technically, but you're just ignoring this high there. Next one was Aussie Swiss. Again, there was divergence here across these highs. Yep. We had that divergence there. Whoop, wrong one. We had that divergence here, but there hasn't been, you can't say this is divergence, that this is convergence, okay? So, question was, it's lower highs, lower lows, continuation short. That's interesting. Effectively what you're trying to do here is this weekly one. And if it's a weekly, then you don't have an entry. It's just a bullish. So with this weekly, there's nothing. I don't see an opportunity on the weekly just yet. But the daily, this is a phase 2 trade, and the trade should have been under here. It didn't give us that opportunity. So I like that you picked up on the cyclicity on the longer time frame, but I don't see it as a trend continuation short. I see it as a phase 2 trade, and there was no opportunity there for the entry. Okay. Could you please comment if we should trade over the Easter period? What days should we not trade? The FX markets will be open over the Easter period. There's certain countries throughout Asia and that don't believe in Jesus as the saviour. So the markets will be open, but there'll be very little action. And like the Christmas period, if something presents itself, I don't think you should avoid it. But there will be difficult trading conditions. Aussie dollar 4 hour. I don't think that's the complete. When I get a decent internet connection, I'll come back to the Aussie dollar 4 hour. So pound yen and euro yen. Oh, sorry, dollar yen. Chickens continuation short. Start of phase 1 long. Sorry, checklist continuation. Start of phase 1 long. Okay. Higher highs and higher lows. Well, I'd have to say no to that. I mean, even if you're looking along the cycle of this trend line or the cycle of the 50, you'd have to say no. This high didn't make that higher high. Above the moving averages, EMA support, yes. Horizontal support, yes. RSI convergence, bullish price action, fib, yes. Trend line support. Look, it's all there, but my concern is that it didn't make that higher high. Yep. So we don't have that clear cyclicity. Whereas the dollar yen did make a higher high. Therefore, we can see that cyclicity. Okay. What are your thoughts of trading the yen today ahead of Kuroda's speech? What are your thoughts trading the yen today ahead of Kuroda? I don't have a problem with it. It's not likely that he's going to strengthen the yen. In fact, he's more likely to weaken the yen, and that's goes in line with the trend that you're looking at. Why don't you take a few minutes to describe what you meant this morning when you talked about the CAD with the loonie, that these prices would help the export market? So I'm looking for. Okay, I'll come back to that. So pound yen, there's no higher high here, so I'm not in favour of that trade. With the dollar yen, we do have that higher high and the cyclicity, and every reason to take the trade. And I'm not too fussed about Kuroda speaking because he's only going to help the trade rather than try and strengthen the yen. And as you can see, I entered the trade this morning, and I think there's a few other people there with me. Pound Aussie. Okay, got your extensions in there nicely. So we're certainly in the buy zone for the pound Aussie. We do have divergence here, which is good. We've got all these lows across here, and we can see that divergence. What we need to find though is a strong support line, and a reason why this would be bouncing here. Perhaps if we go to that high there, might give us that. Yep. So Okay. It's underneath that support line now. Not exactly strong, is it? A reasonable support line that's not exactly strong. Let's have a look at your analysis because my internet's stuffed up. Entry stop. Outside of evidence, field extension, bullish price taking strong horizontal support. Yeah, I'm not trusting this data, but it doesn't make sense that the pound Aussie would be like that unless the Aussie really strengthened over the last couple of minutes, which I'm just not showing on my. Yeah, a little bit of strength there. Anyway, this obviously hasn't got us in to the trade, but there should be an opportunity after this bar for a trade tomorrow, depending on obviously where this bar finishes. So I would be looking at that for a trade, not today, because this is only one bar, but a trade for tomorrow. All right. Euro pound. Questioning here on the euro pound is lower lows, lower highs. Yep, we've got that cycle underneath it. Below resistance, EMA resistance. Yeah, you could add that. You've got the 50 EMA as resistance. RSI convergence, yes. Price action bearish, yes. Retracement bounced off the 50. Bounced off the 50. Yeah. I'd also be looking at it like this in terms of I think there is an opportunity there today in that getting short here under yesterday's bar. And your stop is there. You're looking at about 80 pips or so. I put the stop in short due to the double bottom and the fact that there was a high test. Only risking 0.5% due to the not perfect chart setup. I like this comment and this comment, but I think this should end up being a reasonably strong trade. Aussie CAD. Oh, okay. So this fib's wrong, but you've got the divergence, yes. And at the end of this phase, you should be looking at not necessarily these lines. These are more for cycle to cycle. You'll be looking at the histograms. Okay. And for the Fibonacci extension, Fibonacci extension. I would be having my extensions in here, not where you've drawn yours. I'd have my extension there. Okay, you've drawn this one here. That's and if you're looking at this phase and this is your exhaustion in RSI and your divergence, then that's your last previous phase too. Okay. Your comments on the RAND, doing okay? Yes. Look, I'd be starting to protect your capital by moving your stop. You're short Aussie. Looked at all setups. Aussie CAD showing best. Yeah, I think the CAD getting stronger in time, and the Aussie getting weaker in a short period of time. That's the Aussie CAD is a good trade. The yen, I don't think so. I think the dollar yen is gave us an inside bullish bar. That's okay to leave the order in there. Okay. All right. Go to your webinar telling me to hurry up. Pound Aussie. I've discussed that. Let's have a look at your analysis. Yeah. So on this one, Fibonacci, it should be here, as I drew. Pound Aussie, I've discussed. Your analysis shows me Fibonacci retracement. Yeah. Sound quality, yeah, mate. As I said, there's hundreds of people here, and they're all draining the internet. This is not usually the case that they have such a school carnival. Pound yen, I don't like. No higher highs. Dollar yen, I do. Aussie Swiss, I have given you feedback. Yeah. The other thing I needed, this final sort of look was horizontal support, RSI convergence. This is a phase 2 you want. This is not a continuation long trade. This is a reversal trade. So you've got the wrong checklist here. Okay. You're looking at the wrong sort of, looking at it the wrong way. This should be, you've got the right Fibonacci in there. That's good, but this is a phase 2 trade, so you need to have divergence here, not what you're looking at is convergence. Okay. So just recap, there is a potential on this for a trade tomorrow. Now that we have a higher high and a higher low, this is not a trade today. This one is a phase 2 trade which hasn't happened, and so we're not looking at that. Pound yen, not looking at this because it's failed to give us higher highs. Aussie CAD, yes, we can look at that as a trade today. If there's a strong horizontal, I haven't gone and looked at that, but fundamentally, this should be okay. Euro pound I like for a trade today. Euro Aussie still looking at Euro CAD, not interested. Aussie Kiwi doing well. Aussie dollar going okay. So 2 questions. One, Aussie CAD must have a strong horizontal. And you'd say that that's a reasonable horizontal. 104.30 somewhere. If you can't, it might be dubious, but if you can't find it, then don't trade it. Last question was about the dollar CAD, and my report this morning is with the loonie at these prices, it will help their. Well, with a very weak currency, their currency is cheap as chips. It means that their products are very cheap to buy, therefore they will export more. and you can see in their manufacturing data overnight that that's boosting up to compete with the demand for their exports, and so that's good for the economy. And it's that sort of cycle that is simple. And therefore, I'm looking to buy the cat. And if you're buying the cat, then you're selling this because you're selling US, buying cat. That's simple. Anyway, I apologise for this internet issue today. Not normally like this. As you know, this has been far stronger here than it has been elsewhere. So I'll see you next week in Sydney, and this next one, the next webinar is on the 29th of April, I think. The next webinar is on the 29th of April, and as I said, there won't be as many Muppets here with kids. So any questions, send me an email and I'll get to it over the next, I'll certainly be on email between now and the 29th. Sorry about today, guys. Thanks.